Okay, let me start over. I want to welcome Janice Doxley of Old Town Needlework and Jill Rigoli, formerly of Danji Designs and teacher extraordinaire and life member of our chapter, for doing this presentation on Laurel Burch. She was a very fascinating woman. And what I'm going to do now is that we developed a special presentation and a website, PowerPoint just for you. So I'm going to have Janice start off and introduce herself and go through the presentation, and she's going to tell me what to do. So go ahead, Janice. You have to unmute yourself, you and Jill.
I unmuted.
Okay. Janice, are you okay?
I did it, I think. Was that successful?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Shirley has been my Zoom guru. She's taught me a lot this week. But I'm really honored that you would pick Danji and specifically Laurel Burch to feature for your meeting. Jill founded Danji and her daughter Rachel owned Danji for a while, and now I'm the third owner. Very excited to say that we are celebrating our 50th anniversary. So I come in good stead with Jill and Rachel and have tried to spend a lot of effort to maintain what they developed. So for Laurel Burch, she was a very delightful woman from listening to her daughter, Erin, very creative. I was fortunate enough to meet with Erin when I first purchased the company, and I brought a couple of canvases for her to see. And she very dearly touched Laurel's signature that we have on the canvases. And she was very moved by the art form. Her mother, Laurel, had osteoporosis and had a lot of broken bones throughout her life that confined her to a limited amount of space. And that's when she started to create artwork from nature with cats and dogs and horses, and her beautiful designs of florals, was to take it outside of its sometime normal setting with more neutral colors and to introduce a wonderful palette of colors to those images. She was a jewelry maker initially. She started when she was in her 20s, and she would make jewelry at home and then go out on the street to sell with different vendors, and became very successful as a jewelry maker, and then followed her passion into the art form. These are some of her products that are licensed. You can see up in the upper right-hand corner, Imagine, we actually have that as a canvas. And they have licensing rights with lots and lots and lots of different companies. The Laurel Burch Studio, their website is a wonderful venue to see all of their products that they have. We were in England on the Needlepoint Now tour, and I found some Laurel Burch note cards, which is really exciting to see the scope of the love of her artwork in different areas.
Do you want me to go into her studio, or you want me to go?
Yes, that would be nice.
Okay. So you can tell they're drawing from her line, right?
Yes, they are. All the products at the Laurel Burch Studio are drawing from her artwork, and it's very exciting. I had the opportunity to go to their warehouse, and it was just really exciting to see the various artwork. And Erin has some original artwork that she has in her office. And that was very exciting to see. But one thing that we feel is very special about Danji and our relationship with Laurel Burch is that we are the exclusive distributor in needlepoint. Witchell Designs is a distributor of cross stitch charts, and they have maybe 24 designs in cross stitch. And they are not exclusively licensed to needlepoint shops. Their distributor has a less of a limited license feature. So you can actually go to the Laurel Burch Studio website and purchase one of their cross stitch kits. It's very different with needlepoint. We are the exclusive licensees for needlepoint, and we only sell to needlepoint shops, to brick and mortar shops. So anything that you see as we're going through the presentation and throughout the slideshow, or anything that you see on the Danji website, can be ordered from any local needlepoint shop. You want to go to the next slide, Shirley?
Sure. Thank you.
Here are a couple of examples of canvases that we have taken the artwork that are on different products and made them into needlepoint canvases. So let me give you a tour if I can do this properly. I'm not good at this, so this is a learning curve for me.
Okay, so let me get to now I'm going to stop share. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Janice, hold on a minute, spotlight for everybody. Okay, and she's going to share now what the store will look like. There we go.
This is one of our Laurel Burch designs that Nancy Aldell, who teaches here, did the stitch guide for, and she stitched this design. It's very elegant. And once again, you can see the extreme amount of colors that she's brought into the spectrum for the design. This is a floral that we fell in love with. And Jill will go more into the detail of how we take the artwork and turn it into a canvas. But this is artwork that we received, and we modify it so that it will be stitchable. There are some elements, for instance, in the background that we might make a solid color. We did that with this particular design, but Jill will go into that in more detail. And here we have Kindred Spirits, which is a very fanciful design. I stitched that. And now, if you'll pardon me, I'm just going to very slowly walk around the shop. I'm also the third owner of Old Town Needleworks, so third ownership must be the charm. We are very excited at Danji to have introduced Frank Lloyd Wright. I work directly with the Frank Lloyd Wright Foundation, and we are now the exclusive distributors of their work in needlepoint. They have a line of cross stitch that's available through their website and at the Frank Lloyd Wright store at Taliesin, but we are the only distributors of needlework. And once again, it's exclusive to brick and mortar shops. The one with the red mat is called Saguaro Forms and Cactus Flowers. It's actually on display at the Arizona Biltmore. It's one of the few stained glass windows that he produced that's in a public forum. And then we have Frozen Spears, which has definitely a Southwest flavor to that.
How many do you have?
Let me give you a little tour of our shop here. We specialize in Southwestern canvases. So this is one of our Southwest areas. We also, we have lots of canvases. We also do counted work. This is a canvas by Curdy Biggs. And then we have one from Needle Delights. And then we also, I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. We also have this counted design that is part of our retreat project. We have a retreat twice a year. Jill is our regular teacher. She's our resident talented teacher. And we have offer several things at the retreat, classes with Jill with painted canvas with enhancement. We also normally have a counted piece, and then it's a bring whatever you'd like to stitch in retreat. So we have a lot of different things going on at the same time. I'll show you our thread walls. We have over 130 different thread lines in the store. And unfortunately, there are a couple of more that I would like to bring in, but there's absolutely no room in the house. We also carry cross stitch, which is on this side of the shop. And you can see our models. One of our favorite models here are the fruit designs and vegetables. We're really excited to introduce for Danji CH Designs. We have a haunted house club that we're doing. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not picking up very well. You may have seen the advertisement in Needlepoint Now. And these are by CH Designs, who is a very popular designer that we have here at Danji. So I'm kind of losing track here with the camera. I'm so sorry. Shirley, I hope I'm doing okay for my first time.
Doing
Yeah,
really
you're doing
well.
fine.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So why don't I turn it over to Jill now? So she can really pick up the Laurel Burch and how it started with its inception and developed.
Okay. Well, thank you for the tour, Janice. You also
Sure.
have to stop share on your computer. Do you see that? So, and that way I can get back to the PowerPoint. Do you know how to
Yes,
do
let me
that?
get that.
Okay.
Have I done that yet?
Oh, wait, you know what? I have to remove spotlight. Okay, I got it.
Okay, good.
I got it. So we're back to gallery. And then here, oh, I know. Sorry, guys. My bad, it's me. All right. Here we're back to the website. So this is where the rubber meets the rubber meets the road. And Jill, it's all yours. Can you
Okay.
love to hear the
Well,
story?
the first thing I wanted to talk about was how we got the rights to do Laurel Burch in needlepoint. For many years, when there was a Laurel Burch shop in the Bazaar del Mundo, when they were in the old location, right in Old Town.
San
And
Diego.
every year that Laurel would come down and be there, and I was a great fan. I had already purchased a lot of items, and I knew that'd be wonderful for needlepoint. So I went down and approached her, and she said to me, I really don't think anybody could do my designs in needlepoint to my satisfaction. And that was it. So a couple of years later, I did the same thing and went down and talked to her and said, I really think we could do a great job. You know, your designs are the type of things that would convert to needlepoint very easily. And she really didn't know anything about needlepoint. And she said, no, you know, I'm just not interested. The year after she passed away, I belonged to a university women's group. I was at a luncheon, and sitting next to me was the gal that managed the Laurel Burch shop for all those years and was very, very close to Laurel and her family. She had on a gorgeous silk caftan that Laurel had painted for. So I told her my story about wanting, you know, to do needlepoint with the Laurel Burch designs and, you know, have a license. So she said, well, I'll put you in touch with Jay Burch, her son, who is running the company. So she gave me his phone number. She said she would call him and tell him to expect a call from me, and we could take it from there. So I called him, got an answer phone. I called like 3 times, never heard a word. About 4 months later, I picked up the phone and he said, this is Jay Burch. Are you interested in doing Laurel's art in needlepoint. So that's how the journey began. And so he sent me, we signed a contract, and he sent me a whole bunch of pictures. And then we had to decide what we were going to do first. So originally, I had to convert the design to needlepoint, send it up to Jay for his approval. And like, this is LB29 Embracing Dogs. On the right is the artwork. And on the left, you can see the canvas. And you can see what I had to do to adapt it. You know, the ear on the blue dog, I didn't put the dots in it. I didn't put the dots in between on the little orange dog. And the same thing with the ears. I didn't put the dots in the ears. So I sent that up and he approved it. So I sent 4 or 5 different things up over the period of a few weeks. And he did not have one comment. And he said, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to send anything up anymore. So from that point on, he trusted what I was doing with her art. Now, LB62, Secret Garden, and I put the numbers up here because if anybody's interested, you can go to the Danji website and easily find what it is. I beaded this piece and I took it, the artwork to the canvas, and then beaded it, and have taught this a number of times. And it's really not hard, uses a lot of beads, but there is a stitch guide on it. Okay, Shirley, next one. Okay, now here's another example of what we had to do. You can see, this is the artwork on the left. So I wanted the moon to be white. She has all these little curls in it. Along the bottom, I straightened the line and made it a solid color. Also, right above that, it's all even. And on the side, did the same thing, made the triangle shapes even. And I did shade on the left side. You can see on the canvas how I shaded it, but I also made it even. And the gold line, instead of being wiggly, is even. Across the top, I just made it a solid color. So this is the kind of thing I have to look at. And then I looked inside and pretty much I could leave everything as it was. There wasn't a whole lot that I had to change as far as the flowers. They could pretty much all be worked. But whenever I converted something, it took me a long time. And what I would have to do is I would have to take a copy of the artwork, blow it up to the size of the canvas that I wanted painted. And you see, I made the stars gold. And then I would put arrows and write a note about what I wanted done. Like on the right-hand side, make all the triangles even, make the line even, background solid. And I would have to give our painters a DMC number because they painted, if I gave them a DMC number, they knew what color to use. So it was many, many hours just to get one canvas ready to go, or one piece of artwork ready to go off to the painters. And then it would come back to us, and then we would have to approve it. But you can see just the lips. They were sort of a light orange. I made them red. And Laurel Burch company didn't have any problem with me simplifying some things as far as making it stitchable, even though they really didn't understand needlepoint. Okay, next one. Okay, this is my little hummingbird. On the right is the artwork. There are 4 different canvases that we did. We did all 4 of them. Why did I choose this one? Honestly, it happened to be the one that was in stock when I wanted to do it. So, and this is actually the top of a box that I happen to have. And I bought it probably for something else. And I think it's like a 6x6. So I think Sudbury House, there are boxes available for that. And again, there's a stitch guide for this one. And I've taught it a couple times. And it's just a fun one to do. Okay, Shirley. Okay, this is Ocean Song. And it's one of my favorites. And the artwork is on the left. And on the right, and you'll see the finished pieces in the next slide. But this, okay, this was done by Ann Wynn, who was another one of our designers, but she fell in love with this canvas. And she had the chair made for this canvas. It wasn't that she bought the chair. She had it made and upholstered. And down in, one of her designs is sitting in the chair, plus the Needlepoint Now magazine that was on the cover. And then I had her send me, a close-up of the design. So can you go back to the other one? Back up one. Okay, so you can again see I changed, most of the colors are fairly true, but I did change some of them. And you can just see with the artwork, some of the ones like where the blue is, I made it purple in that area. The fish, I brightened the colors a bit. So, and the same thing with the sun. I brightened the colors. So anyway, a little bit is my interpretation of how it should stitch. Okay, Shirley. Okay, and this is Moroccan mares. And Janice sent me this. And I don't remember. Janice, do you remember who? Was it Sandy?
Nancy stitched that.
Nancy. Okay, Nancy did it. Okay. And because I know Sandy did one too.
She did.
Right. So anyway, that's just an example of one of the horses. And Janice will agree with me that the horses have been extremely popular and still are. And, at some point we may have to do another horse. Okay, go ahead. Next one. Okay, this is just part of Rainbow Birds. And this was somebody, Catherine, it was somebody that was stitching in class with me in Chicago. And just to give you a little idea of some of the stitches that we picked out for this. And it's Rainbow Birds. It's one of my favorites. And it's a beautiful canvas. And you can have so much fun with the bright colors in there. Okay, next one. And this is my Embracing Horses. And there's sort of an interesting story. The reason it's not completely finished is the horse on the far left. I did the head first, and then I came down and ran out of threads, just the dark, the brown, under sort of up under the neck of the turquoise horse. And when I got more thread, the dye lot was so far off. I guess I got farther down. I had to rip that whole bottom part out and redo it. So it's sitting there waiting for me to finish. But when I write a stitch guide, I will stitch a little bit on every part, probably because I'm so visual. So in the turquoise area, you see the little bits of orange. Those are all beads. Up in the mane on that horse, it's painter's thread, as is on the olive green horse. The mane is also painter's thread. And okay, go to the next one so I can show. Okay, now the one on the left, the mane is done in brick stitch beading with hex beads. And what's really amazing is the way the hex beads sit in there perfectly. And I guess it's just the way they're cut or the way they're made. So anyway, one of these days I'll get back to it and get it all finished. And then the brown between is Kreinik. I think it's 022. And then the horse, the green horse, what I did is I used painter's thread in, I can't remember which brown, it's one of the browns. And I did round roads. And then I went around each one with beads. So it was just something a little bit different. So I wanted to show that one. Okay, next one. And this is Mikayla. And this is one of my favorite canvases. Again, it's not completely finished. Now, let me explain a little bit about, well, there's a lot of beads in here, as you can see. All the fish are beads. And in her hair, I have sequins with beads. And then some of the just plain little dots are, if they're larger round circles, then there's sequins and beads. If they're just dots, they're beads. And then most of the time I've used brick and like a double or a triple brick where it's still over 2 threads. And I've used, over on the right is some of the flowers from Sundance. But you can see I had turned it upside down and I was working basket weave from the bottom up, and I'll work the whole face the same way, because when I get up to where she has her blush, I will cover that and I will use actual cosmetic blush makeup, and I'll just pat that on. And I have another example of that later. And when back up. When I do that, I take, because everybody's afraid, and you shouldn't be, I just take another little piece of canvas, stitch my background color, probably 2x2 square or something. And then I apply it, and just apply it with a little, applicator, like you would put eyebrows on, I mean, just that kind of a little applicator, and apply it, to your little practice piece, and then go ahead and apply it to the canvas. And the reason I stitched it upside down is if for some reason I absolutely didn't like it, I'm only ripping back from the top down to where I have put the blush on. Okay, now on this piece, when I got the artwork for it, if we had done the whole piece, it would have been 30 inches. Well, we knew nobody's going to buy this piece that's 30 inches wide by 10 inches high. So we cut it off at a certain point. We had to move a couple of the fish a little bit. And so this was Mikayla. Okay, Shirley, go to the next one. Okay, this is the back. Whoops. Okay, well then let's do this first. Okay, here's a close-up of some of the fish and some of the flowers. And what I've done, I've used some 3mm bugles. I think someplace else there may be some 6mm. Okay, go back to the other one. Okay, so this is the back of Mikayla that we had cut off. And people were asking, they loved the fish. And they said, oh, can you do something else? Can you take part of what you've got on Mikayla? So we thought, okay, we have the back half. We've never done that. So that's the back half. You see the moon, the front half has the sun. But anyway, so this is available as, I don't know, is it a 12x12, Janice, or is it a 14x14?
14 by 14.
14x14. So it makes, if someone didn't want to do the big one, this is what we did in place of it. Okay, next one. Okay, this is the one that I just finished. And I ended up doing this because a couple of the gals, CJ, who are coming from the desert to the retreat, wanted to do this canvas with me at the retreat. So literally, I sat down and had to stitch it. I don't want to say quickly because it still took me, but with COVID, I had plenty of time. In this piece, what I did is the first thing I did was in the heads, especially I started with the center bird, and using the same thread, I put decorative stitches in, and it looked terrible. So then I tried some on the bird to the left, and it just looked awful. So I finally decided all it needed was basket weave. So that's why all three heads are in basket weave. The other thing, and some people may think this is that I have a love affair with this thread, but it just worked because I know Janice had to make sure she had, I think it has 12 colors of accentuate in it. Every thread I've used in here, and there's Splendor, there's Planet Earth, and in the birds, the bird on the left has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades in the wing, and the center bird has, I think, 4, and each one of those has a different color of accentuate. And the bird on the left, the dots are all hex beads. there's not a ton of different stitches. There are some different stitches, but not a ton of them because it didn't need it. I tried putting stitches in the wings and it just didn't look good. So I ripped it out and I'm really happy with the result. And actually I love stitching it. So, okay. Next one.
Jill, just to let you know, we do only have a few minutes left.
Okay, let's
Oh.
zip through.
Okay, so the butterfly flower, and then we have a polling, and as well as we're going to be picking out the door prices for everybody. So there you go.
Okay, okay. Now this, the one on the left is beaded. The one on the right is stitched. So you can see the difference. And I thought it was an interesting thing that Janice and I decided to do. Okay, next one. Okay, this is Swan Goddess. And this is one of my earlier pieces. And on the right, it shows you where I've done the blush on the face, putting it on top. But the flowers are all beaded. There's 3 shades in the swan. Okay, next one.
I was going to say, you can use up all your old makeup and not worry about it, you know.
Exactly, if you have something. Okay, this is my hummingbird. This was really fun. Okay, on the left is my stitch model. The middle is the canvas, and this is the artwork. You can see I really did a lot of adapting on that, but I had to, and it worked. Okay, and this was sent, the picture was sent to me, and I don't remember who sent it. She stitched it, and there's the canvas at the top. And we had requests. Somebody said, I'd love to do those horses, but it's just too big for me. So we made it into like a 14 by 14 by cutting it, figuring out where we could cut it off. And even when we cut it off, we just had the painters, you know, paint out a little bit of that horse.
Okay.
I'm doing better. Okay, the canvas is on the right. Again, this was sent to me, and this person, and I don't know with which shop it was done with. It may have been even Needle Nook. I'm not sure. This was done years and years ago. She wanted to put it in a purse. So what she did is we painted it on a larger piece of canvas for her. So she had more room on this side. And so she could, and you know, it can be done. If somebody wants something on a larger canvas, some of these actually can be even done on 14 or 13 if somebody wants it. And
oops, sorry, Jill.
Okay, next one.
Okay, so this is the ending of our presentation. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of how Jill and Danji Designs work with the Laurel Burch Company to select pieces. And you see how through her stitch guides, you know, take the lovely art and keep the heart of it, as you can tell, keep the heart of it and still be true to Laurel's colors and everything. So I want to have a round of applause for Jill and Janice. Yay! This lovely presentation here. So
Well,
Thank you so much.
Can I say some, hi, can I say something quickly? This PowerPoint would not have been what it is without all the effort that Shirley put into it. And Shirley was, you know, trying to teach me, and she was so patient, and it wouldn't be like this if it wasn't all the time that Shirley put into it.
thank you. I appreciate that. It was well worth the effort. And so what I like to do now is ask Chris Loudon. Chris, we draw by random numbers on the internet as to who's going to receive what. So by random number, Chris, and I'm going to spotlight this. I'm going to do this a little differently, and she's going to tell me, spotlight for everybody. So Chris, can you tell me who randomly got this lovely canvas tonight?
Call you back.
Chris Loudon?
I posted all the numbers. I didn't pick one particular number, but let's say the fourth one on the list, which would be Barbara Pichella.
Barbara, you got that.
Yay!
Yeah, so you can keep track, help me keep track of that, somebody.
I'll
So,
send you an email.
okay,
Hey, Shirley, this
Yeah.
is Kim. My name was drawn again, which I really appreciate, but I got a prize last month. Could you redraw for someone else? So we
okay,
can share it
Chris,
around?
Chris, can you redraw for somebody else? She has all the entire list. Okay, and so
Thanks.
this time we have one for the Laurel Burch cats that will go lovely.
Oh, is that pretty?
That's
Yes.
pretty.
So Chris, who gets this lovely one? Just pick somebody randomly.
Margie Thornburg.
Ah, Margie, good. I'll drop this off. Let's see, Pam, you had a question about the, oh, yes, the door prizes are based who's here, not because our reasoning is that those who take the time to show up, and that's what we do the door prizes for, okay? All right, so I hope you appreciate that sentiment. Okay, so here,
The puppy dogs.
polka dots. Chris, you want to just pick somebody at random?
Susan Driscoll Bannister.
Ah, awesome. Now we have a couple more, and then we have a couple of let me take out one. I found an extra Sundance beads kit, so we're gonna send that out. And who's the lucky person getting this one?
CJ Fry.
Ah, CJ. Okay, let me know if you want to switch out or if you don't want it. Here's another Laurel Burch here. It's a great cosmetic bag, by the way. You put a lot of stuff in here. Not just cosmetic, but you can put a lot of tools in here.
Yeah.
Who's the lovely person on this one?
Mary Jackson.
Oh, Mary. Awesome. And I found a lovely unused Hug-A-Me bag. Isn't that lovely?
Wow.
Yep.
So who's the lovely person that gets this one?
Chris Lavino.
Oh, Chris, that's great. And finally, the horses.
Oh,
Isn't that cool? The horses, both sides.
Catherine White.
Catherine White. So I want to congratulate all these ladies. Chris will give me a list, and I'll be mailing out. Give me a couple days because I've been doing a lot of things lately, and I will get to all of you, get to that done pretty soon. So I want to thank you. This is the end of our program. For anyone who wants to stay and stitch, they can, and we'll keep this on because, hey, this is free. So, I'm already paid for it. So our session is free. But many of you are from the East Coast. We are, oh, by the way, one more thing before you leave. We have a poll because I was talking to the board and we've been talking about doing more workshops. So we're in talks with Sue Reed. Sue, are you still on here? I've got to call you back. Sue, well, she's back east, and
Yes, I am.
with Jill and Janice about doing more workshops.
You
So
want
we're
me to
gonna-
launch the poll?
yes, hold on. The poll is on Laurel Burch. Laurel Burch has not been taught for at least 5 years, right, Jill? So we're going to launch a poll to see if anybody would like to do it. So please go ahead, Jill, and please vote, guys. Put in your,
Which one would you like, birds, flowers?
okay, so go ahead. I can't see the poll because I'm a
I'll
host.
tell you what happens. It's building up. We've got quite a few so far. About 20 people have responded.
Oh, good. So just, if you don't want it, that's fine too. But we wanted to assess whether there's an interest, and we'll go ahead and do that. Ooh, cool. And thank you, Chris, for emailing me the door prize winners. I will send that off again tomorrow. I will be.
Has everybody voted? We have 33 people have voted. And 25 said they are interested in a Laurel Burch workshop. 25, so 76%, and 8 said maybe.
Uh-huh.
So that's 100%. Nobody said no. They 39% picked the bird, 7 the flower, 21% the flower, 21% fish, and 6% others.
Okay, can someone write that? I can't
I'll
see
write
it.
it down. I'll write it down.
All right, and Pam, in answer to your question why we don't have cats, I didn't, oh, you mean cats for the, as part of the option? Okay, who would like to have cats? Okay, let me,
I'd switch mine to cats.
okay, so I see Pamela, Carla, let's see, Jane, Catherine, so that's 4. Pat is 5. Who else wants cats? 5. Let's see, Barbara, 6. Pat.
I do
7.
Shirley Chris Lavino.
Okay, 7. Chris, I got you. Pat, 7. Let's just say 10 because I'm probably
Okay,
gonna miss
so
something.
that puts it number 2 after bird.
Okay, so we do
Okay.
bird. We'll look at birds and cats. We're gonna look at. Obviously, we don't want to have a $300 kit, but we're gonna, look at what is available, and we'll talk to Jill and Janice, and we'll get back to, and of course the board. So we'll get back to you. And we put together a workshop. It'd be nice to have someone to help us manage it.
Right, we really need workshop helpers.
Yep. And Sue, I gotta call you because you're in the mix as well. So I haven't forgotten you, kiddo. I just had to do a PowerPoint presentation for somebody tonight. So we've been working on that.
What are workshop helpers?
It's really someone taking registration, because everything can be done online. We have PayPal. So nothing really physical. It's just really keeping an Excel spreadsheet, is interceding on behalf of dealing with the nuts and bolts of the about the kits and everything. We collect the money through PayPal, is tracking who's paid. And then the physical
Coordinating
stuff will be done locally.
Also coordinating with the instructor.
Yes, coordinating with the instructor, but the physical part will remain at the local level. So all the supplies will take care of that, shipping and all of that. So it's really just the coordination and with the person and with the members or the participants, okay? So think about it. It'd be great if someone could help us. It's just really for us. All right, so I'm gonna officially end this meeting and end the recording.
Everybody take care.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone.